a chance, but the fumble allows them to get home for the single. It's a lovely push down the ground. Lamachani will have to beat his best to cut that off, keep it to just a couple.
He did well in the end. I don't know, Lenny. I have a feeling that something is going to boil over in this game. There's going to be something happen. It's just, there's a lot of tension in this commentary tent. That's just you and me. I'm sure it's not just us. It just feels like this game could go all sorts of places.
You certainly expect a twister turn or two more. That being said, though, the Dutch are in such a strong position. The weather's so nice now. It should be, by a distance, the best time of the day to bat today. The question is, will there be any assistance for the spinners? So far, not a lot. And that's the problem for Nepal. With the team that they've picked today, or been forced to pick with no Karan KC, no Gulshan Jah, sorry, no Sampal Kami, no Gulshan Jah, just Karan KC and Nandan Yadav as out-and-out seamers. If they don't spin the Netherlands out, they're probably not going to win the game. And if there's not a lot of assistance for the spinners, it's not going to be easy. But there's plenty of guile between Rajbanshi and Lamachani. You'd suspect Kushal Bertel will bowl at some point today as well. And remember, there's just no left-handers at all, is there, in this entire Dutch 11? So my expectation would be that as we see Karan KC change ends, Nepal are going to have to bowl very, very well.
And they're going to have to field well on top of that, but we've certainly seen them do that all the way through these matches here, just outside of Dundee.
Interesting change of ends, this one, for KC. Down the leg side, doesn't flick anything.
I always feel like it's from the end he's bowling now that we've seen the most wides bowled over the whole course of the games. Something about that end. But leg side wides from the Nursery Road end, it just feels like that's where the majority of them have come from. Maybe that is to do with the wind, because of course that is the way it's blowing.
It's quite undulated out there, actually. You only really notice it when you get out to the middle. The square, like many squares and club grounds, is built up, so it's kind of slightly raised. And then there is rugby played here in the winter on both sides of the square. And there's these kind of fascinating hills and peaks and valleys across the outfield. It's funny because it looks reasonably flat from where we're looking, but when you're out in the middle, it's definitely not. And there is a temptation to try and hit towards that leg side when you're at this end, because it just looks closer, even though you're right in the middle of the square today, 61-metre boundaries, both to the leg and offside. It's the corners then that are massive, isn't it? 77, yes. 78 metres to the different corners of the ground.
But even though they're the same each way, as for each side square of the wicket, the boundaries at times when that wing gets up, it definitely seems like one side is shorter. The leg side for Baresi at the moment. But actually that wind has really dropped right away.
It is that way in which he hits. Just a sort of pick-up pull shot. Not much of a follow-through, not needed. It'll get to the rope. It's a good stroke from Baresi. He's starting to grow in confidence. He gets to double figures.
And it's been a bit of a scratchy start for Baresi. Unable to get the ball away. Had a free hit. Wasn't able to capitalise. Hit it straight to the fielder. That was just the kind of innings he was having, but that was the first really confident stroke that we've seen him play so far. Wasn't able to capital. This one's in the air. This could be out. Oh, just out of the reach of Lalit Rajbanshi. Running backwards. It would have been an absolute screamer if he'd managed to get to it. But in the end, Baresi is safe.
Well, different fielder, different result here. To be honest, Rajbanshi is probably the weakest fielder in this 11. He's a fine bowler. You're always going to pick him, but he doesn't move in the same way that a Bertel or an Irie does. Either of those two there, that's a chance. Ends up not getting a hand on it. He just doesn't have anything like the speed of those two in particular, or even a Road Powdle across the ground. And Baresi, well, very fortunate to get away with that. It just hung agonisingly out of reach. Yeah, the stronger fielders all in a ring on the offside, so you've got Arif Sheikh, you've got Bashir Ahmed, Dipender Singh Irie, Kushal Bertel and Rohit Powdle. That is a gun offside field, but just a little weaker on the leg side, and as a consequence, yeah, you can't really blame Rajbanshi. He was never going to get there.
So a little bit of fortune for Baresi. He'll take that at the start of his innings.
Thuds into the thigh pad to round out an interesting over. 7 runs have come from it. The Netherlands just starting to move into control of this chase. It's 46 for 1. Really bright now here, and definitely a bit of warmth for the first time in Dundee, or just outside Dundee City, or in Broughty Ferry. Will not be complaining given some of the conditions that we've had to play through. Rajbanshi will bowl his second. No real sign of a lot of spin on offer. Who's going to be the real threat with the ball today, Mel? Is it a day for Sandeep Lamachani to bounce back from a bit of a disappointing performance the other day?
Well, that'd be the ideal, wouldn't it? For both him and for Nepal. This is coming straight out towards us. Andrew Leonard was priming himself to have a go at the fielding if there'd been a misfield there, but well fielded in the end by Nandan Yadav. That's firmly swept. Is this going to be 4? Yes, it is going to be 4. The dive, it was a good one, but it was in vain in the end. So all of a sudden, as the 50 comes up for the Netherlands, they're just starting to motor along, and no surprise to see the sweep shot coming out early.
Yeah, starting to move into a dominant position here, the Netherlands. Nepal need a wicket. The runs are coming pretty regularly now.
I'd venture, Lenny, they need more than one. So that's going to be their way. Netherlands don't have to take a lot of risks.
Not hitting his length at the moment either is Lalit Rajbanshi. Don't think this is the end I would have expected him to bowl from. I thought he would have liked to bowl from the other end with the wind resisting his drift back into the right-handers. Still just 2 fielders allowed outside the circle, remember, as well. Required run rate very manageable, under 4.5 per over. Bim Sharkey does enough to keep that to a dot ball. There are a few sort of puffy white clouds that are meaning we're kind of jumping between very bright and a little bit dark. You can see there just how dark it is on your screen.
Can't see the screen.
Get used to the feet. That's something Baresi does excellently. He's very comfortable and confident playing against spin. End of the 9th over. It is 54 for 1.
If these two can get this partnership going, yes, Baresi has looked a little bit scratchy early on in his innings, but starting to grow a little bit in confidence. And Levitt's actually looked very confident from the start, just knowing that they do have Scott Edwards to come in, who is such a good player of spin, and Nepal are going to be relying heavily on their spinners. They need either Rajbanshi or Sandeep Lamashani, you imagine, to really contribute with the wickets. That's probably their easiest route to victory.
Worked into the leg side. The restrictions still in place for one more over, and this is turning into an excellent power play for the Netherlands. Well bowled, sir. Right arm over. Nothing wrong with that. And the boys behind very much enjoying his attempt. Get him on. Make him second change.
Pretty happy with that. I think that people up there heard me when I called out some what I felt was lackluster fielding, because they've been right on it ever since. Oh, yes. Do you want it? Do you want it? Here it comes. Oh, I'll come on and bowl for you. Get me on, Rohit.
Yeah, not bad at all. Might have been a bit short. Needs to pitch it up.
A lot on this man's shoulder as well, as one of only two out-and-out seamers in the attack today.
Hello. Hello.
The crowd are still laughing right to our left at that poor gentleman's attempt at bowling one in.
I like the way.
Oh, edged wide of the one slip fielder that's in place. Nicely bowled by KC, squaring up Baresi. Yeah, one of the things I adore about Nepal is that they've got a wonderful sense of humour. They've got a joie de vivre and an adoration of life that you don't get in many parts of the world. And they love, whoever you want to say it, winding each other up or pulling the Michael or however you want to put it. They love kind of joking around with each other. And there is a lot of joking around going on in that particular corner of the crowd.
Well, I just like the way he held the ball up as if to say, oh, do you want it? Do you want it? And then he bowled it.
Top edge, it's going to fall well, agonisingly out of reach. Dutch are clearly trying to cash in. Oh, good relay fielding with Anil Shah getting involved. Don't know how they ended up getting back for two there, taking on Lamachani.
Well, we haven't seen Scott Edwards out in the middle, and he did say to you earlier, Lenny, when you were talking about how good the running between the wickets was by the Nepal players. Well, I'm quick too, you know. I want to see Scott Edwards herring around today.
The Nepal fans are trying to get things going. It's a very difficult position, a precarious situation they're in. That you're going to have to get wickets. Maybe just get through this power play first and then a little bit of relief with 4 fielders allowed. Big appeal. No interest from the umpire, who walks away immediately. Michael Levitt saying that there's some bat involved. He's played in the Nepal Premier League, knows a lot of these boys very well, loved his time out there. Maybe just the bat saving him.
Yep.
If not, that would have been really close again.
This has been a really bright start, though, from Michael Levitt. It's going at better rate than a run a ball. How often do you see that player coming on and having a good day with the ball in hand, and then they just come out to bat bristling with confidence and feeling that they've already done a really good job for the team and they can just keep on going with it?
Probing spell from Karen Casey. He's been a bit unlucky, to be honest, to be wicketless. And at the end of the first power play, the Dutch in complete control. 61 for 1.
हेलो साथीहरु सबैजनाले एकचोटि रिप्रेस गरिदियो है माथि रिप्रेस बटन छ है युनिटिभीमा हेर्ने साथीहरुले चाहिँ रिप्रेस गर्नुस् है यो लिंक बन्द हुँदैछ त्यसैले सबैजनाले रिप्रेस गर्नुस् है अनि अन्य वेबसाइटमा हेर्ने साथीहरुले चाहिँ युनिटिभीबाट हेर है यो लिंक बन्द हुँदैछ है त र सबैजना साथीहरुले युनिटिभी भनेर सर्च गर्नुस् अनि मज्जाले हेर्नुस् है ल यो लिंक चाहिँ बन्द हुँदैछ है हाम्रो प्रब्लम आयो लिंकमा त्यसैले सबैजना रिप्रेस गर्नुस् है ल युनिटिभीमा हेर्ने साथीहरुले चाहिँ रिप्रेस गरिदिनुस् है एकचोटि लिंकहरु सर्ट र रिप्रेस गरिदिनुस् माथि रिप्रेस बटन 2-3 चोटि दाबिदिनुस् है अनि अन्य वेबसाइटमा हेर्ने साथीहरुले चाहिँ प्लिज हाम्रो युनिटिभीबाट हेर्नु है ल यो लिंक बन्द हुँदैछ है त अब त्यसैले सबैजनाले युनिटिभीबाट हेर्नुस् है ल हाम्रो लिंक चाहिँ अब बन्द हुँदैछ त्यसैले सबैजना साथीहरुले चाहिँ युनिटिभीबाट हेरेर सहयोग गरिदिनुस् है अनि युनिटिभीमा हेर्ने साथीहरुले चाहिँ रिप्रेस गर्नुस् वा फेरिदेखि युनिटिभी भनेर सर्च गरेर मज्जाले हेर्नुस् है त ल बन्द हुँदैछ है साथीहरु त्यसैले रिप्रेस गर्नुस् है अनि अन्य वेबसाइट वा एप्समा हेर्ने साथीहरुले चाहिँ युनिटिभी भनेर सर्च गर्नुस् अनि पहिलो वेबसाइटबाट मज्जाले हेर्नुस् है